hey everyone who's listening to us, is you can turn on music. So Windows Media Player just has a giant playlist of Stonehearth music that amazing Raj has put together for us. And music volume has to do with the fact that sometimes the music sounds too loud and is louder than our voices. So you can just start any of these.
Okay.
You can see the music volume's pretty low.
Yeah.
Hit play. And then just check over here briefly, like, how's the music volume doing here? It should be okay.
Okay.
Like, and so, alright.
How's the volume, everyone?
How is the volume? Can you hear us yet? Can you see it? You can't see us yet. Can you hear us yet?
Oh,
hey,
it's
Easter.
like starting to transition.
Hey, Megashub. Yes, okay, so when we are ready, like, yeah, we'll go screen plus cam. We are, in fact, on screen plus cam, so they will see us.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
So, for those of you who have not met him yet, this is Justin Hamilton.
Hi.
Justin is taking over Richard's stream because Richard is in Hawaii, which would be great if we were all in Hawaii, but we're not. So, anyway, hi Richard, if you're watching this stream.
I'm sure he is.
So you can pretend to be Richard, or you can just be yourself, like, you know.
Hello, Joe Maxro. How are you doing?
And hello, Logo SH. And everybody else. So, Justin, what have you been working on since you joined Team Stonehearth in, like, November?
So quite a bit. I initially started with a bunch of CubeMeter performance updates, so our kind of particle system. So I worked on making sure that the memory was managed better than how it was. I kind of removed some abstractions that we didn't really need to kind of speed it up. And that kind of gave me a good backing on the back end to the Stonehearth engine. Mm-hmm. Since then, I've been working quite a bit on a number of gameplay issues. Like, I helped implement a good number of the traits. I helped implement the loadouts. I've done a bunch of UI work. Probably a bunch of things I'm forgetting, but those are, I think, the main takeaways, at least in the past couple months.
I think it's been amazing because, like, it's... Well, you basically started, you did a project to help you get started that had an immediate impact, and you've been making gameplay improvements ever since.
Yeah,
so
it's been a lot
really
of fun.
Cool. You also taught us all how to play Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah,
which
that's
exciting.
true.
And working on instrumentation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Doing a lot of data and metrics and stuff like that. So making sure our team is working with like Riot's kind of data platform because it's super useful.
Yeah.
And helping us be able to work within Riot's framework but not have to rely on them.
Right.
Which is an important thing to do.
Yes. All right, so what are we going to do tonight? And if you guys have any questions for Justin, just shout them out in the chat.
Yeah, feel free. Okay, so today I was thinking there was a bug posted on the forums a few days ago about pet names not being updated. I think this is a bug that has existed for a while, but ever since we implemented the animal companion trait, now it is way more apparent.
Yeah.
So people were able to notice that they changed their Hearthling names, but on the pet sheet it didn't update. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Atom, or I already have an instance open.
Whoa.
Okay.
What is Atom?
Atom is a text editor that I like to use. It's pretty comparable to Sublime Text. Oh, right. We can,
so
resize that.
Screen.
So it is somewhat comparable to Sublime Text, and the reason why I like it is, one, it's open source. Two, it has better Emacs binding. So I come from an Emacs background, and I cannot do anything unless if it has Emacs keys. So Sublime Text has okay Emacs keys. I feel Atom does a little bit better. Honestly, I would use Emacs if I could, but it requires a lot of like Unixy stuff that Windows just doesn't have.
I also feel like it's worth noting that we should talk about your keyboard.
Oh.
Because like no one else can use Justin's keyboard. Like it's super. Here, I'll do cam.
Okay.
Screen plus no. Oh my god. Right here. We'll do webcam only, and you can hold the keyboard up.
So yeah, I like to do custom keyboards. So this is a White Fox, which is a pretty nerdy keyboard, and you notice it has Elven runes for the keys. I've kind of remapped a bunch of stuff on it just because since I use Emacs so much, so it just helps me kind of get around more. But since I'm on a stream now, I won't be able to type at all, so I won't get any of those benefits. Okay, so...
Like, I think it's great self-defense, because, like, if anyone wants to use your keyboard to be like, hey, Justin, I just want to show you something, like,
yeah.
you can be like, yeah, sure, show me whatever.
Yeah, Tony and I had a lot of, like, back and forth at Thunderdome, when we were working together at Thunderdome, because I couldn't use his keyboard and he couldn't use mine.
He didn't tell me you couldn't use his keyboard. He was just like, have you tried using Justin's keyboard?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, every time I was like, the keys are all mixed around. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is in the animal companion trait, we have a trace that, let's see, that's the position trace. So we have these traces for unit info. And what this essentially is it's a way for this script, which it lives on a Hearthling who has the animal companion trait. They have this piece of data that watches the info pane of either themselves or their companion, so that it can kind of get updated whenever the player changes the name.
Right.
So we want to use this type of thing in the pet component. Mm-hmm. So in the pet component, if we look, so we have convert to pet. I think it's make pet. Set description. Okay. So if we, in here we have this method set owner. And what this does is it's called on a pet to essentially turn them into a pet, and it tells them who their owner is. So in here what happens is we do a bunch of checking, we kind of like flip-flop with the old owner. But in this portion of the code, we are going to be getting the owner's name and setting the description on the little character sheet. This doesn't update, so this is only called when the owner is set, which is why people were seeing that they would update the owner, and then the pet would still reference the old name, like Darla Burley Hands or whatever.
So for those of you who have not tried modding Stonehearth or not gotten very deep into Stonehearth's code, like most of the time we just pass information whenever we need it. Like, it's like, oh, the owner changed, therefore I should probably find out, like, who my new owner is. But, like, we don't constantly listen for changes in information all over the place because it's super expensive. Like, you know, that means that every time the owner changes, the pet needs to, like, be like, oh, tell me about that, please. And, you know, it adds a small overhead. But it does cause, if you don't listen in the right places, or if you don't, like, double check at the right times, like, then this happens. And I mean, you could also do it so that, like, whenever the owner changed its name, like, a bunch of people who, like, you know, it called a bunch of functions, but then the owner would have to know about everyone who cared about itself. Mm-hmm. So that would be super awkward. So we use these traces to check up on data that might be changing.
Right.
Oh, I should also mention that at the end of today's stream, we're going to ask you guys for a bunch of pet names. So get them ready. Like, Ascendancy pet names, Rise Children pet names, and pet names for all the different kinds of animals in the game.
Yep. So, let's see. We want to basically take this out. So we'll go ahead and say, we want all of this. Oop. Some of my keys are messed up. It's okay. I'll deal with it. So we want to take this. No. We want to take, basically that. So if it's not, okay. So we'll go ahead and take this. We want to extract it into its own method. So we'll say like self, update owner description.
So this is pet component. It's on every entity that is a pet. And wild animals get it when they become pets.
Any news on pet and wild animal portraits in the unit frame? So right now we just show the like just a picture of the model. I don't know about specific portraits.
Actual pet names.
Okay, so we can do some adjustments to this later, but for right now it's fine to kind of put it there. So then the other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this gets called, this update owner description. So we're calling it basically just where it was before. Oh, and I see an issue.
Which is?
We'll need this. And I don't know if I want to remove it from in here. Well, since we'll always call that, this will be fine. We'll go ahead and throw it down here. If we have some problems, we can move it back. But
so you're trying to factor out code that belongs to both update owner description and set owner.
Right, yeah, because so the saved variables, what this is doing is saying like, oh, there's certain variables we care about that other things also care about. For example, in this case, it would be the unit frame. So the unit frame needs to know that we've changed some of these owner description variables, the self SV. SV means save variable. Mm-hmm. So since we've updated the display name and the custom name, what calling this mark change does is it will essentially tell like the unit frame that's listening to these things like, hey, I've changed, so we're gonna transfer data here and do the updates and stuff like that. Okay, so I think that's good. Now we want to take this type of thing. I'll just go ahead and copy it, and we'll obviously have to change it for this context, but we want to call this on post activate, if I remember. And we'll take a look at the code that I paste in, but I'm pretty sure it's in. Pretty sure it's in here.
There's a lot of initialize, destroy, post activate. Like there's a lot of functions that get called when a component is created.
Yeah, the life cycle.
Yeah.
There's probably a better way we could do it, but for right now it works. So
post activate, does it get called like only after initialize, or does it get called after initialize and or load?
And activate.
And activate.
So the reason we want to put this in post activate is because in activate, components are being activated, so we have no guarantee that they have been activated yet. So like right here, in this like self savior unit, this will probably be like owner. We'll take a look at the code in a bit, but the get component, so we're getting a specific component. We don't have this in here, so Stonehearth unit info. And then we're going to call trace data on it. But trace data is a method that's dependent on specific types of components, particularly ones that's backed by what we call a data model. Mm-hmm. So there's only certain components in the game that provide their stuff up front to be traced. So since we need this specifically, trace data, this has to be in post activate. Otherwise, there might be a timing issue with this component being up.
Makes sense.
The plugin for the toolbar I'm using in Atom is called Toolbar Almighty. I can't remember who made it.
God, clearly. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty customizable toolbar. It's based off of the toolbar plugin. If you've ever used that, it's just an extension of it. Let's see. Okay.
So I admit, Ildred, I've not been following the discourse conversation about animal portraits are not actually displayed in the unit frame.
Oh, they're not? Okay.
Or maybe it's like the portrait isn't displayed. It's like a picture of a thing. If you click it, we can go and take a look.
Should I bring this over here?
Yeah. So that they can see what you're looking at. The discourse is usually safe.
Okay, animal portraits are not displayed in the unit frame. When selecting a wild animal.
Right.
Animal's portrait, find the animal in the wild.
That's probably because most things don't actually display their portrait, so it's more like you have to turn it on rather than that this is a bug.
Okay. Yeah, and we can definitely take a look at that later if it is something we need to support.
I'm worried slightly about performance insofar as like how much. I mean, maybe you just get the portraits once and it's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. So it's just not something that we've prioritized.
Do we cache portraits in the catalog service? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because we could do that, but it might grow just to, again, performance is a issue. Okay, so in post activate, let's see. Okay.
That is MooBot.
Yeah. So in post activate, okay, so we're saying radian.entities exists. This basically says does this entity exist or not. It's basically a way we can like make sure we're not trying to operate on an entity that's dead or no longer here or just invalid data. So this would be owner. We're checking if the owner, and then we want to say like, sorry, my key bindings are, I didn't get them all set up correctly. So I'll be a little stumbly through this, but it should be okay. Owner unit info trace. So we want the owner here. And we'll get the unit info. We'll just say owner unit info.
So what is the savior like language that I'm
So that was on the
Easter.
Yeah, that was the animal companion trait. So in the animal companion, a hearthling, it's between a hearthling and an animal. And the description is that one of them saved the other. And so it actually, something that I thought would be cute would be to randomize like who saved who, just so it's not always the hearthling had saved an animal. Sometimes it's a squirrel saved a hearthling. So that's why we, I just use the term savior and savey to differentiate between the two. What is, this is Twitch?
I refreshed Twitch because everything looked stuck.
Okay.
But yeah.
Is there any problem with the stream?
Are you guys, like, let us know if you guys see any pausing or anything, because I totally saw us get stuck.
Okay.
But anyhow.
Yeah. Okay. So back to pet component. So this is, the trace data is saying like, hey, this component has some data we want to be listening to. This is basically the observer pattern, if you're familiar with like design patterns. So we're saying on change, we're going to execute this lambda or an anonymous function. We're going to set text, which we don't want to do. We want to, what do we call it? Update owner description. I don't think we passed in anything since it's a SV variable. We kind of can we can just reference it directly because it's a field within the class itself. The other thing we need to do here, since we're adding this, we need to make sure that we destroy this unit info trace so we don't have essentially like a dangling resource. Like if the pet ever gets removed or something but we've established a listener, we need to make sure that this listener gets shut down as well. So in here we'll say if owner unit info trace, then so let's see. We want to destroy it. Okay, so we do that. How's this looking? So in post activate, we set up the trace. We also call it in set owner. Update owner description. We update the save variables. Okay, I think this is looking like it might work.
And you destroy the trace, which is good.
Yeah.
Well, there must be a UI component too. Like, how does the...
So actually
get into the UI?
The UI component, so this goes in a very roundabout way into the unit info frame. So, oops.
LogoSH asks, are you stopping the trace? Or are you stopping the check if the hearthling dies and or the pet dies?
So
that's the destroy, right?
That's a good question. So yes, we do, and it's a very good question because it's not exactly obvious based off of this. So destroy, yes, if the pet ever gets destroyed, then it will clean up the listener, which is good. If the hearthling dies, we also clean it up. It doesn't say anywhere in here, but we can actually take a look at it. So if we go into pet owner component, if the pet owner is destroyed, unlisten for pet death. Let's see, remove pet. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, so remove pet. Set owner nil. Oh, do we not release pets?
If their owners die?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that something we should do? Let's see. Let's see if remove pet gets called anywhere else in here. So it doesn't get called. Is there like a... Okay. Should all the pets be released? To do of a little while ago.
About a year ago.
Okay.
And change.
So currently...
I feel like it's like, well, right now what would happen? Like, it's like their owner's dead, but they just still belong to the town, and they run around and they hop and, like, all this other stuff.
So in that case, the trace is okay. Like, it's still listening, which isn't, the best optimization. But this pet could always have a new owner come along. And in that case, But
when would it get a new owner?
I actually don't know if there's anything in the game currently that would cause it to. I was mostly speaking hypothetically, since this is like a public function. They probably wouldn't, but they still like act as a pet to the town. But there is a good edge case that brings up that I didn't account for. We're only creating this trace on post activate. So if we did ever set a new owner, this would not get updated. So it would continually listen to that. I
guess you could make a function.
Yeah, we could certainly set. Yeah, so we'll go ahead, like, function pet component. We'll do set. We'll keep the name unit info trace. So we'll do that. We'll do this.
And then call it again if we ever choose to change owners of a pet.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you, LogoSH. I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because otherwise we would have committed code that like is a little bit more brittle than it should be. So that is.
Code is always more brittle.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only honorable thing a programmer can do is delete code. So we'll do that, and then down here in set owner, we could probably just if owner does not equal so in this whole thing is basically running if the owner if we're setting an owner and they're not the previous owner. So we can just kind of blindly call that. We'll call it before any of. Is my tabbing wrong? I guess I should have checked that setting as well. So what do we call it? Set unit info trace. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's open up our user settings and actually run something. Stonehearth data.
Oh, so the UI is actually just set up. It's just the name will update and it'll just go.
Sorry, we got off on a big tangent. Yeah, there's a in the JavaScript, it's actually it gets routed through to the Lua unit info component, I think. Unit info component. So it'll be looking in here for like the description, and the description actually gets set to the what do you call this? The URI of the thing we want to display. So the JavaScript will look up the file here and look for what we want to write. So we can go into there. So where is it? Stonehearth data. There's so many en.jsons.
In Sublime anyway, you can type Stonehearth space and then en.json, and then that will at least narrow down your Stonehearth.
Okay.
A little bit.
It's this one. Okay. So if I remember right, it has the word befriended in it. Okay. So here we'll tell it like, the description's this thing.
Right.
And so this can be different in different locales, but it will look up the string befriended by name, and then it's saying self, which is the JavaScript Ember view. Stonehearth pet, which is a field. If we look at sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. Where was that? So if we press, what is it? I think character sheet.
Either that or it's unit frame. But
pet character sheet. Yeah. Okay. So in here, so this will get set.
Right.
And this will have the description. It'll have the fields that pet has, which will be owner. So this name thing is saying, look at the owner, and there'll be 2 strings by our convention. And this is through a helper. There'll be a default name and a custom name, or display name and a custom name, display being the default one. And if you have a custom name, it'll display that first. So if you rename your Hearthling, it should be in here. It should say befriended by Bob or whatever you rename it to. So let's go back to the user settings. Where's the mods? Do we have Stonehearth test in here? We can just put a new test.
Which test do you want to run?
Let's see. Animal companion test, I believe is the name. Are we just running Stonehearth?
I think you want to turn off ambient encounter test. Like,
oh, right. Okay.
Make run, see what happens.
Oops, something popped up, it looked like.
You have a Lua error.
Yep. So let's take a look at that. Animal companion test. 7? Oh, this might not be the... This might be the wrong... Let's see.
Let's make the window a little smaller too, so that we can still see the chat.
Close. Well, we can close here. Okay, so... We have animal companion test.
So, what is online 7? Oh, self micro world. Interesting. Can you run this animal companion test if you're just like make run animal companion test? And
is it make run test or is it just make run?
I think it's make run dash and then the name of the test. Make run, remove the dash, I guess, and see if that helps.
Just like that?
Yeah.
No.
Huh.
Yeah. Well,
okay, let's run some other test.
Yeah.
Like using this, like, turn something else in user settings on and see if...
Right. See if we have... Yeah. Oh. I hate when that happens. Okay, so what was the...
We know that ambient encounter test was the last one that was running.
Okay. Ambient?
Like it? Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Come on, keys. Okay. It's like the same thing.
I'm wondering about Angela's recent changes to Microworld.
Oh.
Like, could that somehow have screwed up
yes,
our tests?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's see.
How do we...
So there's SmartGit on here, and the other thing we could, I guess, check is if, like, hey, is make Stonehearth working? Like, if...
That's a good question. This should be the... Where's the main mod thing?
Somewhere in here.
Okay. Stonehearth test. So if we just say Stonehearth.
Yeah. Or just underscore there under...
Oh, and it'll do it
right,
automatically.
And then
okay.
make run should run Stonehearth normally.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've been doing recently, guys, is the public submodules, like the public modules, like Microworld and stuff. Like those guys are having, like, it used to take 5 hours to update all of them, like because the way that we'd set it up in GitHub required that when you made a change, it would need to review all of the changes. And like, I mean, it would need to review all the changes you'd ever made to that submodule and like read them in and test them and stuff. So that took forever.
Probably fat-fingered something. I'll go ahead and fix that.
So that turned up there because that was the moment at which the people were created. So it makes sense that it's like at that moment, like maybe there was an animal companion that was supposed to be attached to somebody.
Slightly.
So yeah, so Angelo changed the submodules, excuse me, so that they could be like, I guess they used to be subtrees and then he changed them to submodules, and so we didn't have to do this long, exhausting, like pulling back and forth between the public and private repositories every time we wanted to upgrade them. And Microworld is one of those, and that's where we test, and so that might have some trouble.
Right, yeah, there was no main mod selected, so it will actually default to Stonehearth if there isn't any.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see if I unbroke this.
Thanks, Cable Rat PvP. Cable Rod PvP. You guys are awesome for coming to keep us company while we fix bugs on stream.
Yeah.
Like, you could be watching a stream of anything else right now. You could be watching a stream of people, like, you know, speedrunning Zelda or something, and you're watching us, so thank you.
It's starting to get pretty crazy. The speedruns.
Right.
And the bug fixes. Okay, we got 2 animal companions, so let's go ahead and accept that. We'll take this. Well, that looks like a nice spot.
I am super happy with the new loadout screen, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah,
it looks awesome.
I think it's fun to do, and we definitely have a lot of good ideas, and the community as well.
Yeah.
Over future loadouts we can do. Okay, so let's find one of these. Okay, so here is Turtle. It's befriended by Tristan Umbro. Hello, Turtle. Where is your owner? So we'll go ahead and grab him.
Change his name.
Yeah. What's a good Hearthling name?
I'd go with Megashub.
Megashub.
Yeah.
Okay, Megashub.
That's a capital S there.
Oh, Megashub. Okay. Megashub. Alright, so where's Turtle? This is one thing I would like to add, is being able to find the... Are you Turtle? Okay, so we didn't fix it.
This is true.
But,
bow tie.
Okay, so we can definitely figure out why that didn't work. So, let's go back into here. So did we... Okay, so in post-activate... Post-activate, we set the unit info trace.
Mm-hmm. So I guess owner might not exist.
Owner might not exist.
In which case... Right, I don't know when it's assigned the owner.
Yeah, so owner gets set in set owner. Okay. That should, well, it should still update the...
So, because of that. So, it sets the trace, the owner's true.
Okay. So, something we can do is just put in some rudimentary logging into the update owner description. So...
You also have Dakota here, maybe? I don't know if Dakota is... I don't know if you've used Dakota much.
Yeah. For this type of thing, I would probably prefer just to output.
Be super hardcore about it.
Yeah, just to make sure. So pet Dakota's better, I feel, since like we have to build it and stuff like that, and it takes significantly longer. I feel this is better for this use case, just because we don't actually care about the value at the moment. We just care that it's getting called.
Right, and this is where having Microworld would be super nice, because then we wouldn't have to start the game.
Yeah.
But we will figure that out later. So anyway, so Angelo is hopefully saving us 5 hours every time we update, but there will be some bumps along the road, because GitHub is a bear, really.
Oh, update field owner. So, pet component 36, so I broke something else.
Oh. Self.sv. Was it owner? Sorry, was it?
Oh, it was. I must have just deleted it somehow. No? That's right.
Which one is the self-sv owner? Which one is the one that was actually missing?
Okay, so it's destroy entity. Attempt
to index field underscore owner.
In 36. Huh.
Oh, self-sv. One is underscore owner and one is just normal owner.
Oh, where did I? Oh.
Between 35 and 36. Yay!
That may actually be the thing that broke it. As in, like, why it wasn't updating, as well as that error.
You think Turtle is a cat. This is true. You never know what people decide to name their pets.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably a bunny.
Okay, we have
animal companion.
Monty Tenter. Yeah, this will be nice if it just works.
Yeah, that's happened to me once in my coding career. Like, I mean, probably more often if I can't, like, bug fixes, but, like, in terms of, like, large projects, where you just write the whole thing and then you hit compile and then it just magically works.
Yeah. Okay, so it was it Monty?
So we should first check.
Where you at, Monty?
If Monty has a pet. There's Monty.
Okay.
Where's
and
Monty's
his pet is Allie.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Who put Allie's name in the pet selection?
That would have been Linda.
Megashub recommends that if GitHub gets too painful, you might check out GitLab instead. Lots of really cool deployment automation functionality natively built in there that you might be able to take advantage of. Hey, GitHub is we're very attached to GitHub at the moment, but looking at other things, always better, always cool.
Where you at, Allie? Where'd Allie go? Is that you?
I think there's Allie. She's inside the there. Those ears. There we go.
Huh, still didn't. Okay, let's take
Monty Tenter.
Let's see if we actually updated. Okay, so we did. So why is it not setting the description?
Well, maybe print the description?
Yeah.
And see what happens?
So...
You want the entire Stonehearth team as pets?
Ha!
I'm so glad, Coaster's Paul. Thank you. Actually, one of the first things that we did as a team after we had the custom hair and stuff was start making ourselves as Hearthlings. I actually can't play that game. It's a little bit too direct, a little bit too on the nose. Like, I mean, like, I've already given 4 years of my life to this game. To be inside the game also is like adding a kind of insult to injury. Like,
I want to copy this. Did you copy? It didn't look like you did.
Right, so in update owner description, if owner is self.owner, if I have an owner and the owner is valid, then do this.
Owner. Okay.
Yeah.
And then down here, owner custom name.
What's the difference between the custom name and the display name?
So the custom name is the name you have recently set, and the display name is the default name. And that name helper in the ian.json should pull the custom name. Okay. Anything else we should be logging before we commit to running again? Set description. We set this. Befriend a pet description. Pet owner. Add.
No, we just did D&D from like October to December. That was actually my husband Rodrigo running the D&D sessions outside. So no, just a bunch of people like are playing fighting games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's probably what you're hearing.
Yeah.
It gets pretty salty, like, salty being that fighting game term for being angry about losing. And I think it has to do with that giant pile of money that Seth has pinned up beside his desk.
Oh, he has money?
Yeah. Like, there's, like, different stacks of bills. I didn't look at the denominations, but, you know, like, that adds stakes, right? Jim Extra says the public microworld mod seems to work. We can download the zip.
Okay.
That's true.
Oops, there's two animal companions. So Soar, Elliot, and Ike Freywind.
It should also work through our whole system, though. Whoa, look at those islands! That's exciting. Cool map.
Yeah. Salt.
Salt, yes.
Okay. Now, I was kind of interested in why. I mean, maybe we will have to break out Dakota. It called that set owner twice, although I don't. Now, I mean, it's getting like we have two animal companions, so. Right? Didn't we? It only. Oh, okay. Yeah. Why is it calling it so many times? That's interesting. Owner display name.
So you have two people, Tulip and Soar.
Huh. Let's go back. Am I doing this wrong? Get display name owner. Get custom name.
So
it's displaying. So for
how many people have pets? Like, cause all these.
So in this, it's 2.
So like, who are all these people who are not the owners?
So it looks
like Ike and Tulip and Silene and you know.
That's interesting.
Like, why is it printing all their names?
That's a good question.
Like, or maybe, well, does everyone have a pet owner component? Like, no? There's only 2 pets.
Yeah.
Could there be spare? Well, how many of those people are actually in the world?
Let's take a look at the trace, because maybe. This is right. Yeah, how many people is it? So it's
Silene and
is
Mabel and Silene Brightwell. Silene Mabel.
Tulip, Ike,
and
Soar.
So that's 5 people.
Why are those 5 people? Did they all have animal companion and I just missed it?
Maybe you know Linda's making like multiple people at the start.
Oh, right, you're right. Yeah.
Like fake people.
Yeah.
We don't see anymore.
Yep.
Let's just hit this thing and how many of these people are actually here?
So
Ike is here.
And
Soar is here.
So the Silenes aren't.
So
yeah, I forgot about that. When we re-roll, we're actually making like multiple Hearthland. Yeah. So that's actually why. That's why, yeah, having might try downloading the micro world.
You know what? Let's also save this game because there's animal just never mind. Maybe it's saved in data and but it should, if you save the game and reload it, maybe it'll just take less time to.
Yeah. Ike Freywood. Real Omegasa?
Yes.
Does that have something to do with the change if someone dies? The re-rolling?
No, the re-rolling has to do with the fact that we leak memory every time we create and kill a Hearthling.
Yeah.
And some people were re-rolling a lot on that screen. So we were leaking like a lot of memory. And we've been trying to figure out the source of that memory leak for some time. Okay, Apple is still befriended by the wrong person.
And it did not...
You did not see an update?
No. Which means we're not setting... We're possibly not setting our listener correctly. So... Let's go back to the code. set unit info trace. If the owner exists, then unit info trace data. Unchange, update owner description. And not self.setting owner. I bet what that's doing is it's saying like, hey, we're setting owner true. Setting owner is false.
So when is setting owner set to true? Like,
it looks like it gets set in here, then it does all this updating stuff.
But that also means that it's always false the first time. So...
Yeah, but it should still get in here, right? Because it's saying the owner does not equal the previous owner, and we are not setting...
Oh, I see. And now it's true, and then it still gets in, and then... Okay.
Okay, interesting.
I guess add more. If we're gonna do this with printf, add more.
Yeah.
Like logging, like how.
Yep.
Like where are all the call sites for setting owner, and are any of them getting called?
So
like,
yeah, we'll just verify that we're in here. So. Yeah, my tabbing's off.
I think save the game so that we can just move it. I think it should be okay because you're making changes.
Yeah.
To the way the component works.
In. I'll add some. Okay. Save. New save.
Right.
Okay. Gotta run it again.
Let's see.
I feel like we almost have it. It's
it's always. Does the display name change when you change the custom name?
No, it actually. Well, kind of, because there's a previous name, but what's happening is it's referencing the custom name if one exists.
So why do we keep both the display name and the custom name?
It's actually used, so it's used by our helper to check both. And I think if one isn't there, it might. We can look at the actual helper, but okay, you're still by Ike. Well, that would be Real Omega. That would be the case anyway, because it hasn't changed. Logo SH. Where'd you go? Which one are you two? You're Soar? Right. Character sheet. Easter.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
What did we change?
We added logging.
We added logging, which shouldn't matter. Did we change where it got called in?
We did change the order. Like we changed.
That shouldn't matter because it's like, procedural. Interesting. So I changed you to logo SA. Okay, good
because,
point.
Like, what if it's non-deterministic?
Are you non-deterministic? Okay.
Okay. Alright. How about the other animal? Like, where is it even?
Probably hiding somewhere in this food.
Somewhere inside all the food.
Oh.
Ah, there we go.
Logo SH.
So,
Hum.
Like an update happened because you haven't changed Logo SH's name, did you? Like today or in this iteration?
Oh, I just did. Yeah.
Oh,
I changed it from I think a real Omega Sa.
And we couldn't find that animal, so we didn't look at it.
Yeah, so we went over to here. We did this one. Interesting. Let's take a look at the code
Yeah.
real quick. So we moved this down.
Right. And we added logging.
I wonder if it was just a Ember render issue. Like if Ember, like, because what happens when we call save, so this does, wait.
That is so not okay.
So we do that serializes everything. Maybe it just happened, like it didn't get through to Ember by the time we checked. That's not
moving the code down one line ought not to change this.
No, right.
That is
but,
the definition of brittle.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is perhaps the first time, and we can do this a lot more to double check this. I wonder if it just didn't update in Ember by the time we saw the animal, and then we were like, okay, let's go add logging, right. And it would have.
And it would have updated later?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean, that's kind of asynchronous programming, I guess.
So, here we have Geister saying that she is a non-deterministic entity, and Coaster's Paul says, now do you have to kill a Hearthling and see what happens?
We can.
We can, although I think they're still befriended, because we didn't change that code.
Yeah, so Yipper...
Geister says, blood for the blood god. Sorry, logo. The name field accepts punctuation.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, and Megashev was like, can I name a Hearthling Little Bobby Drop Table?
Yeah.
We actually did have this conversation about a week ago. You want to do the thing with the set font?
Oh, how do I do that?
You just set the font size.
How do I say that?
Let's see. Just like...
Oh, font size? Like that?
You have to put something, like...
Yep.
Make it... Right?
It's...
Whoa. So you have to give her a name, still. And font size. Font size, maybe? No, I think... Well, anyway. It would be like the same thing as...
Yeah, okay. I still
Maybe
think
it's
that's
just
funny.
Size.
In, like this?
No, just size.
Oh.
Sizey. Like open bracket. Sorry. Delete a bunch. Open tag. Size equals like 22 or something.
Just like that, or
yeah,
EM or PX.
And then name. And then size? Maybe? No. There's probably a thing with CSS.
Yeah,
like,
Angelo actually knows.
Anyway.
So, name. Although it's interesting. Because it's not picking up on that.
Well, I think it's because we have to tell it that we're now doing CSS. But anyway,
So which pet was this the friend of? Befriended by name.
Alright.
Should I destroy it, or is there an explicit, kill?
No, it's like...
We can set their health.
Right, but then they'll get rescued.
Yeah.
I think if you right-click on them... Or sorry, shift-click? Shift-click. Click away. Control... What? Does your shift-click not work? Or...
I don't have debug tools. Okay. So we can destroy and see if it breaks. Befriended by name.
Yeah, I can see why that would stick around, because it's just a string.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hack away on Chromium. Yep. Yeah, there's some funny artifacts that Angelo, one of the other engineers, discovered. He just started putting in strings and
he just put in HTML.
Yeah.
And it turns out that because our UI is in HTML, you can dramatically alter the font size and the font, and you can make people's names emoticons. That was good. Well,
Okay.
Anyway. Yay! Okay,
so we got one bug fixed.
We got one bug fixed, and now we have to figure out what it is that fixed it.
Yeah.
But we are coming up to the end of the hour. And
so
yeah,
we can
pet names, actually.
Yeah, we can go ahead and save this, and then ascendancy population.
So these are where all everyone's given names are.
Okay. So here is kind of the format for how the names work. So we separate them out by population. And then the populations have default names.
Yes.
And that's names that can be applied to any pet. And then we have species-specific names. So what happens is when the game starts, it will merge together the species of the pet and the generic names, and then it just randomly picks one of those.
So we are looking at from you guys our pet names to help expand this list. Ascendancy pet names should really sound like they have been made up by people who live in the Ascendancy. Ascendancy name rules, for those of you who might be new or don't remember, it's been so long, like they're almost like single syllable Earth names or Western names, but they're changed somehow.
And that's a good point, because all of these names are basically placeholders. Like, these might not necessarily... I mean, there's like Bob. I mean, Bob will probably stay in. Who knows?
It's because Brad names everything Bob. Like, he's named all of his Hearthlings Bob. Like, I mean, it just keeps coming back, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, like, if you see something in here that, like, looks weird, it's mostly because it's placeholder at the moment. Not all of these will stick in, although probably some of them will.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I removed a lot of the ones that I thought felt... Like, we didn't want ones that made us super feel like it was from America.
Right.
Or from Earth or something. But yeah, Pipit's good.
Pipit's good. Alright, we got Pipit in there.
Ruffles.
And I'll put these in generic unless any of you want to specify that it's for a specific species. And just so you know, the species of pets right now are raccoon, fox, rabbit, and squirrel. So...
Ruffles. Bits. Polecat. We don't have cats yet.
Fluff.
Fluffy. Fluff. Fluff is good.
Yeah.
Moxie. M-O-X-I.
Talus. Or tails, like spelled. I do believe we have tails, but yeah. Ruffle. Who should we tag?
Nibbles. Nibbles is good. Can we make a thread on Discourse? Yes, you can make a thread on Discourse.
Yeah.
And you can tag Justin. What is your Jameltron?
Jameltron. Yeah. I'll type it in here. Box.
Fox.
Oh, Jameltron, since I said it.
Spot. Nigel. Nigel's pretty good.
Jaham. Probably won't keep that because I try and stay out of the game. Hopper.
Polecat is slang for ferret, which I know you don't have either, but the raccoons kind of look like them. I will stay away from that for the same reason that we vetoed Ali's trash panda. But that's my bad. I got the Linda gives the dirtiest looks. Anyway, I was like, nope, not trash panda. It's just like, oh.
Marietta.
Yeah. Marietta, that's good too. Yeah, Bandit's pretty generic and common there.
Yeah.
Tibbers. Not Tibbers, I think. Tibbers might be owned.
Jerky, because that's what they get turned into.
Oh, that's good.
We'll put Turnip. We won't do the Mr. convention.
Yeah. How about some Rise Children names too? Like those.
Yeah.
I feel like the ascendancy, we want like cute sounds. For Rise Children, it's more like sibilant sounds, and also like things that Rise Children values, or cute versions of them. Like we've got like Sparkle and like, yeah.
Rise Children population. Okay, we're on to, we'll search Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. On to Rise Children. Dinner, Gandalf. Crispy?
Probably not.
We don't want Christopher I'm already using runes from his father's setting as my keys. We don't want him to come, Chris Tolkien, to come sue us. Safa.
Raja.
Amal. Bosha. What's R-A-J?
H.
Waki? I'll do it with the Q.
Yeah. Solas. Oh, Solas.
Is it
good? S-O-L-A-C-E. Oh, Fadil.
Sounds good.
Pearly, Goldie, Maya. These are good, guys. Wow, this is awesome. This way we'll have them repeat very, very rarely.
Puppet? What does puppet mean in English slang?
It's sort of like adorable one.
Okay. Odie?
Odie is good. Moon, maybe just by itself.
Yeah, Moon.
We're trying to keep them sunburst. We're trying to keep them super short. The only one that only just asks, will there be a black mage in the future or something like that, a spellcaster other than the cleric? We've been leaning away from like high fantasy classes. Black mage is very Final Fantasy. We've been leaning away from high fantasy classes just in general. The cleric is the exception because it's super otherwise hard to get people healed in combat.
Right.
We may eventually go to a more high fantasy place, but right now it's very much like German Hans Christian Andersen, German fairy tale levels of magic.
Oops.
Duska is good.
Oakley,
Roko, Pesh. Pesh is good too.
No Trump.
No Trump. Like, I think you should be able to play Stonehearth and forget about everything else that's going on.
Lune.
You guys remember the stream that we did on Tuesday when the election was happening and we were just like, okay, we're just not going to talk about anything. Alright.
Haha. Ha.
Hana, actually, I think.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, that's actually a name.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I need to get new glasses.
Oh, hey, Tamar. Yeah. All right. Cool. This is a good batch. Shall we call it for here?
That sounds good to me.
We can tell people to remember to solicit names, and if you guys have names, you should continue to populate on Discourse, and we will take them in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for coming to the stream, everybody, and keeping us company.
Seriously. Oh wait, Duska. Dusk.
Sounds good.
AH. Alright, and so you can find Justin on Discourse as Jamildren, and thank you so much for taking Richard's stream.
Yeah, of course.
It's been super fun. And you guys, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. We will be back next Thursday. If this was Richard, I can't remember who goes after Richard. Maybe Mally? Anyway, we will find out. Or maybe it's Chris.
Oh, yeah.
So you get 2 coding streams in a row. Wow. Chris is working really hard on building right now, so who knows, maybe you'll get to go see into the, like, spaghetti that... He's actually detangling the spaghetti. So right now it looks like spaghetti, and hopefully after he's done it'll look like solid, good Stonehearth cubes.
Add this. I'll push this to a branch and we can get the formatting right.
Figure out what happened.
Stream name suggestions. Okay.
And Bruno Supremo says, come back for other streams. We are short on coding streams this year. It's actually kind of true.
Yeah.
And Angelo just added himself to the stream schedule also, so now that might be like 2 coding streams from 7. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
And thanks, Bruno Supremo, for all of the cool river biomes in Archipelago. Like, Linda basically said that we were at lunch on Friday last week, and she was like, yeah, I was up super late. And we were like, oh, what are you playing? And she was like, Archipelago. We were like, oh my god, really? Yes, so thank you. It is awesome.
Oh, I might need my credentials to push this, but it's fine. I can do that off stream as well. Nope, looks like it.
Went through.
Nice.
Alright, cool.
Okay.
So, signing off for now. See you all later.
Bye.
Alright, so we go back to Stonehearth main here. That fades out the window, and then...